Hello. I was a federal worker.
I was one of the thousands of federal workers terminated this weekend. Let's talk about it.
Literally every single day, it's something. Every single day, I am waking up and dreading going to work because I don't know if I'm going to have a job or not.
And I wanted to come on here as one of the thousands of federal employees who lost their job with the federal government this weekend. I was removed from my position through an email from an unrecognized HR account from my agency around 1 p.m. on Saturday. I have gone through the entire range of emotions this past weekend. There is a lot of sadness in my heart. There is also a lot of anger.
I served 14 years in the Air Force. I was a federal employee for over 6 years. That's over 20 years of my life working for the federal government. And I was recently fired by Donald Trump because I was on supervisor probation. So I was already tenured.
How do we deal with such mass layoffs in the federal government? See, the thing is, I believe there's a reason why people leave the private sector and go to the public sector. And that is for job security. You know, you're working for the government, life is going to be better for you. You know, such things that affect the private sector are not going to affect you. But then here we find ourselves where even people in the government sector are being laid off. What does that mean for the future of the United States?
I'm utterly devastated. I'm confused because my recent performance evaluation was exceptional and I got upwards of $1,500 as a bonus because my performance was so good. And this was my dream job. And it's just being taken away by an administration who doesn't care about science. It doesn't care about people who might be homeless with their dog now.
This is exactly the point. Many people choose to be federal employees and not go in the private sector for a variety of valid reasons, which is why the illegal removal of these employees is serious. Oftentimes, people choose to be a Fed because of the stability. They might take a huge pay cut, but many of the benefits and the stability outweigh the salary. Whereas in the private sector, you might have a much higher salary, far less benefits, and far less job stability. So it's about what you choose. Just like an employee versus an independent contractor. As an independent contractor, you might be in charge of your own insurance and in charge of your own benefits, but you might make a lot more money. Whereas an employee, that's more guaranteed for time off and insurance and benefits and things like that. I know it is different in other countries, but this is how it is in America, and particularly with the federal government. And again, this is not addressing the issue of government waste or bloating or anything like that. That's not the conversation. What we're talking about is the illegal termination of these employees.
The thing is, unfortunately, we have people of color also that are federal employees and they're being laid off.
I'm sitting here. I don't want to cry, but I feel like the tears are going to start rolling. But I just got an email from a manager telling me to come into the office tomorrow and bring all my government issue equipment. So I'm thinking that they laid me off. I've been working with the IRS for a couple months now, and I just don't understand how this is legal. I have a daughter, I have responsibilities, I have bills, and he just comes and lays people off. How does he sleep at night knowing that he's taking income away from so many families?
30% of federal workers are United States veterans, people who put their life on the line to serve for this country. 30%. So all these people from the federal government that Trump and his little sidekick Elon are firing, are kicking to the curb, 30% of those people are U.S. veterans. So don't tell me you support the troops when you support kicking them out of their job. Don't tell me that you support the troops when you support taking away their VA benefits. That's bullshit.
So all of these federal job layoffs have me asking this one major question. Okay, so all these probationary employees have been let go. I think I've seen a number of like upwards of 200,000 people. Specifically, I've also seen that apparently there have been some layoffs in the IRS during tax season, during peak tax season at that. So I'm just curious about like who's going to do these jobs now that you've eliminated these positions. Additionally, why was the option to choose that they had like unsatisfactory performance reviews or they were let go because of performance? Why is that the choice that you chose, especially when these people have documentation of the fact that they've had wonderful performance reviews? I'm asking these questions because I'm just curious about how any of this is legal in the grand scheme of things. If you say that somebody has been let go because of performance, do you have to then notate what the reasoning was? Does that impact them being able to get unemployment? Additionally, largest question here, you've let all of these people go. And so now what you did was you spread the employees that you allowed to stay employed. You spread them far and wide now. Now you have increased their workload. Now you have pretty much negated their work-life balance. You already did that when you made them go back to work. Oh yeah, remember, you still got all these people going to work every day, but they don't even have a place to actively work because the facilities cannot accommodate them. And so if you have to still build new facilities or find new facilities, where exactly are you saving money, especially if you still have to pay all of these individuals that you just let go unemployment benefits? Now, I get it. The other thing that I've seen is that the people who chose the deferred resignation, some of their requests are being denied because their particular position does not qualify for the deferred resignation. Well, ding, 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 ding. Shouldn't you have said that when you sent the deferred resignation? It should have only been sent to people who qualify for it. And then there are like certain caveats of like certain positions won't be eliminated. But then I'm starting to notice that you're eliminating positions that contribute to the safety of this country. I've also seen that it's like some science focused roles like NASA, like different medical research, like for cancer and AIDS and things of that nature. So what happens when these things become an issue that you created? So when the bottleneck of the IRS processing claims doesn't happen in a timely fashion, explain to me what happens then. When the safety of our country is compromised because we don't have the people in place that are supposed to maintain the checks and balances of our safety, who's going to handle that? When there are some things going on in space, I think I heard somebody say something like there is some kind of asteroid in the air or something. The chance of a meteor shower or something has increased by like a percentage. It's only like 3%, but still. When you fire all these people, who's going to pay attention to that and who's keeping up with that? Let's also not forget the FAA still ain't got no leader and the plane steady crashing out the sky. Who's going to help us with that? Air traffic control, jam-packed. They can't even pay attention enough to send notifications back and forth because there's too much going on at one time. They don't have enough of them. And that was already an issue even before this now. I'm just trying to understand when America will be great.
Hi everyone. Please pardon my appearance as it is after 4 a.m. on Tuesday, February 18th. And I wanted to come on here as one of the thousands of federal employees who lost their job with the federal government this weekend. More specifically, I was removed from my position through an email from an unrecognized HR account from my agency around 1 p.m. on Saturday of this holiday weekend. No one within my chain of supervision was involved in this decision. I have gone through the entire range of emotions this past weekend. There is a lot of sadness in my heart. There is also a lot of anger. The firing of thousands of federal employees across the government is going to have detrimental impacts on regular people like yourself watching this video. My position with my healthcare agency was involved in Affordable Care Act, health insurance marketplace policy and operations. And so I was one of the people regulating health insurers to make sure that they were not selling you junk insurance, making sure that they were covering all the benefits that they had to cover, charging you a fair amount of cost sharing, making sure that they weren't discriminating against you based on your health conditions or health status. And with fewer people like myself in the government, you can imagine the impact that that will have on the regulation of massive corporations. And I think that's part of the point of all of this. I have gone back and forth all weekend with what comes next for me. I was a dentist before moving to DC. I graduated from dental school and put my clinical career on pause in order to move here and try to make a difference. I wanted to make dental care more accessible and affordable for people, and I felt like I finally had that opportunity in this job that I was just let go of. One of the hardest parts of all of this is that I don't know if I've really made a difference. I'm really at a loss for direction right now in what I'm doing with my life, and I'm really not sure what comes next for me, but whatever it is, hoping to make the best of it, as we always do, and really appreciate all the love and support of people out there who recognize just how cruel this is. I'm sending love to all of my federal workers out there who are either hanging on to their jobs still or were just let go this weekend. I know the pain that you're feeling, and you know, the entire network has been so supportive, and I want to offer that same support to all of you. If there's any lessons to be drawn from this, it is that we do not need the richest people in the world controlling our government. Our government is supposed to be for the people, and the only purpose of all of this is not to decrease the federal deficit or decrease spending like they're claiming. We make up such a small portion of federal government spending. It's really to decrease regulation and allow businesses to go unregulated and take control of the economy. So I think we're in a really dark time, and it's going to take a lot of work for all of us to rebuild from this, but I am committed to doing that work in whatever role comes next, and I hope you all understand the gravity of this moment and do your own part to chip in. So I don't know what else to say, but for now, just wanted to share my story and send my love to anyone else going through this.